course, the Super Bowl just happened there in Las Vegas. The Kansas City Chiefs were named Super Bowl champions for the 2023-2024 NFL season. But how can the Steelers get to that point next year? Today, I'm going to be going over the offseason plan that I think would give the Pittsburgh Steelers the best chance to win Super Bowl 59 in New Orleans by this time next year. All right, so before we get into that, do me a favor right now, click that thumbs up icon to start today's show. The way the YouTube algorithm works, guys, is the more people that click that thumbs up icon, the more they'll push this out to other Steelers fans like yourself. So if you're enjoying our content, if you like what we do here, and you want to help us grow our channel here, do me a favor. I'd really appreciate it if you click that thumbs up icon to kick off today's show. So first off, let's cut some people, all right? Let's send some guys packing, all right? And let's start with the guys that I just don't really see a future with this football team moving forward. We're going to cut Allen Robinson and save $10 million. Goodness gracious, $10 million for Allen Robinson. Then we got Mason Cole, terrible center, don't want him on the team. Save about $5 million there by cutting him. And then DeMonte KZ and Keanu Neal, you save over $5 million by cutting the both of them. I actually like the other safeties that are going to be here on the roster in 2024. No place for them on the roster. Then a couple players I think that they could restructure this offseason. Minkah Fitzpatrick, who still has 3 years left on his deal, and Alex Highsmith, who still has 4 years left on his deal. So we save $20 million by cutting the players, those 4 players that we just laid out, and then who knows how much you can save with depending on how much they restructure here between these two guys' contracts. There's definitely room to do a lot, and there's room to do less, but keep in mind the more that they do, the more that it's backloaded towards the end of their deals, and it makes it more difficult to manage as we approach the end of their contracts. Now, a couple players that I want to extend here and kind of lock them up for the future. I want Jaylen Warren. He's on the final year of his contract as an undrafted free agent. He is extension eligible here, and I think he's more explosive than a Najee Harris at this point in his career. I'd rather give him the extension, especially now, because I think he's going to absolutely explode in 2024 in Arthur Smith's offense. I'd rather get his deal done now, while he's probably cheaper, than wait till the end of the season and re-sign him when he's probably going to be making #1 running back money. So I'd rather get him right now. And then also James Daniels, really solid offensive guard. I think he's a really good fit for Arthur Smith's system as well. Want to keep him here in Pittsburgh for the long haul. Now, do you guys believe in the Pittsburgh Steelers? Let me know. Is there any shot that the Pittsburgh Steelers can win the Super Bowl in 2024? Even a 1% chance. Do you think there's a shot they can dethrone Mahomes and the Chiefs in 2024? Give me a yes or no for today's pinned comment. YouTube's going to throw you an ad break here in just a couple of seconds. When that happens, take advantage of that time by giving me a yes or no down there in the comment section. So the players that I want to re-sign here as we enter NFL free agency, I want to bring back Miles Killebrew and Miles Boykin because they're both excellent special teams players and decent backups. And then Armon Watts, he was top 20 in the NFL last year among defensive interior players in Pro Football Focus grade. I mean, Armon Watts kind of quietly had a really good season for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And if they can get him for a team-friendly deal, once again as a rotational piece in this defense, I think he plays a really critical role here, giving some relief to Cam Hayward and Larry Ogunjobi that I think would really work well, again, with the Steelers here in 2024. Eric Rowe as well, death row, bring him back, baby. Put him alongside Patrick Peterson and Minkah Fitzpatrick and Trenton Thompson. I really like Eric Rowe and what he brought to this team this year in terms of his versatility. And then Marcus Golden. I like Marcus, all right? He's a good run blocker, decent pass rusher in a rotational role. I would elevate Nick Herbig to that true number 3 edge rusher on third downs, but Marcus Golden, good number 4 edge rusher. If he wants to come back on a team-friendly deal, I'd be willing to entertain bringing him back. Now, coming up here on Steelers Talk, 2024 NFL free agency. I've got a number of free agents that I have the Steelers targeting to get them to Super Bowl 59 at the Superdome in New Orleans next year. But before we break that down, let's have a word from our sponsor here at Game Time, which is the fastest and easiest way to buy tickets for all the sports, music, comedy, and theater in your area. Now that NFL season is officially over, you can go see a Pittsburgh Penguins game in the NHL. You can go see a Pittsburgh Pirates game when they start getting things going again this spring at PNC Park. Whatever the case may be, you can get tickets for it on the Game Time app, which is the fastest growing ticketing app in the country for a reason, people. It boasts a lowest price guarantee on all tickets, to any event. And it's not just sports, guys. It's theater, it's music, it's comedy, it's music festivals. Anything you can buy tickets for, you can get it on the Game Time app at the lowest price guarantee. And it's because of that it's the only ticketing app that you need on your phone. All right, so you can buy tickets in a matter of seconds, 2 taps and you're set. It's a super easy to use interface, and tickets are also sent directly to your phone. Another great feature, so you never have to dig through your email to get the tickets. Snag your tickets now without the stress with Game Time today. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code SteelersChat. That's one word, all caps. It's right down there in the bottom right of your screen for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code SteelersChat, one word, all caps, for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. Now, this one might be a bit controversial here, and let me know if you disagree down there in the comments, but I really do believe that Russell Wilson gives the Pittsburgh Steelers the best chance to win the Super Bowl next year. Now, I'm also okay with Justin Fields, but there are a couple reasons why I have Russell Wilson as a better option than even Justin Fields at this point. Number one is affordability, and the reason for this is that there is an offset clause with his contract with the Denver Broncos. So if the Broncos release him this offseason, it really seems like they're going to, wherever Wilson signs with the next year, they're going to be on the hook for the rest of what he was due to make this year. So he was due to make like $38 million in 2024. If he gets released, he can sign for the Steelers for the vet minimum, which is just over $1.7 million. And the Broncos would be on the hook for the rest of his contract. So Wilson would be able to get paid. He'd be able to play for a team that has a Super Bowl-ready roster, in my opinion. And he could play for an all-time great franchise here, and a blue blood franchise in the Pittsburgh Steelers. So it makes sense for the Steelers because you're getting a super cheap quarterback that's still playing really good football. And then also makes sense for Wilson because you have a shot to win a Super Bowl with a really good football team, but you're still getting paid. Reason number two, the ability to play in the clutch and then his playoff experience, all right? We see it with like Brock Purdy versus Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs this year. Playoff experience matters. Super Bowl experience matters. So if you want to win a Super Bowl, you better get a quarterback that's comfortable in that big moment. And Russell Wilson has been comfortable in those moments his entire career. He's top 10 in National Football League history in game-winning drives and fourth-quarter comebacks, all right? So that is absolutely incredible. He's one of the most clutch quarterbacks in the National Football League history, and he's a Super Bowl champion. He has been to that game multiple times. He's been in AFC and NFC championship games. This guy has been on that big stage. If the Steelers can get there, and I absolutely think they're capable of getting to a place to that caliber with Wilson as their quarterback, this guy's not going to flinch. This guy's going to give you the best chance to hoist that Lombardi Trophy if he can take you that far. Reason number three, I still think he's a good quarterback. Now, he's not the perennial MVP candidate that we came to know when he was in Seattle, but he's still a really good starting quarterback in this league with a great deep ball. And could you imagine that arcing deep ball with George Pickens' 50-50 ball ability? I mean, good Lord, that could move mountains here in Pittsburgh. I absolutely love the way that Russell Wilson throws that thing. He's got great pocket presence, which would be a great refreshing change from Kenny Pickett, who has none of that. And he's definitely somebody that has really, really shown to be a really good quarterback throughout his career. He was top 5 in touchdown percentage. He was top 10 in passer rating. He was top 3 in adjusted completion percentage last year. He was a really good quarterback, all right? So don't get it twisted. Russell Wilson can definitely get the job done. And think of it this way, guys, okay? This team was 10-7 with average or bad quarterback play the entire season. All right, just imagine if you get a good NFL starter like Russell Wilson who has the clutch factor. And also you're getting him, again, on the vet minimum, so it opens up opportunities to get a bunch of really great talent in free agency to surround him both on offense and defense. So I think that this maximizes the possibility of the Pittsburgh Steelers winning a Super Bowl next year. And I really do think Russell Wilson has what it takes in terms of on-field play, in terms of affordability, in terms of everything to deliver the goods here in Pittsburgh. I really do believe that. However, I would still be okay with Justin Fields, all right? I think that with Fields and his rushing ability, his ability to run, with the great weapons that we have here in Pittsburgh, with the QB-friendly system that Arthur Smith brings to the table, I really do think Justin Fields, this system can accentuate his strengths, get him on the run, use his big arm down the field with those play-action deep shots. and really limit the weaknesses like the turnovers and the mental processing and all those different things that have plagued him in his career to this point. I think Arthur Smith completely transformed the career of Ryan Tannehill, and I think he could do the same for Justin Fields in an even bigger way. And honestly, guys, at the end of the day, I just don't want it to be Kenny Pickett to be the starting quarterback because I don't see the upside with Pickett. All right, I think he can get better. I think he can become like a decent NFL starter who's like a decent game manager. But am I seeing Kenny Pickett taking down Mahomes and Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson and Trevor Lawrence and Justin Herbert to win Super Bowls in this league with the amount of talent that he has? No way, in my opinion. You got to take a bigger swing. And listen, if the swing doesn't pan out, fine. You can restart with a new quarterback, but I just don't see it with Kenny Pickett. And at the end of the day, I'd be pretty upset if he was the starting quarterback heading into 2024. So which way do you want to go at the quarterback position? Do you want to go Russ, type RW? Do you like Justin Fields and the upside that he brings, type JF? Do you want to stick with the kid, Kenny Pickett, type KP? Or do you want someone else, type O? And then let me know which quarterback you would want to be the starting quarterback of this team heading into 2024. So some other free agents to consider here, and I think that I have picking up here if I'm the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'd bring in Tyler Boyd, bring him back to the city of Pittsburgh, the Pittsburgh native, Pitt Panther, versatile, can play in the slot, can play outside, is a good blocker. He's a great fit for Arthur Smith's offense. Trent Brown, a top 10 graded offensive tackle in football last year. I'm going to put him on the left side, keep Broderick on the right side where he had so much success this year, and I like the value of just $7.5 million over 2 seasons there for Trent Brown. Kenny Moore, really good slot, versatile, outside corner as well, can play both inside and outside, great locker room guy, former Pro Bowler, really gives you options in terms of what you can do in the draft. Plus, he's pretty inexpensive. He's not going to be nearly the amount of Jalen Johnson or L'Jarius Sneed. And then at center, I'm going to have them address it in free agency with Aaron Brewer, who is Arthur Smith's center there with the Tennessee Titans back in 2020. Just rave reviews from Arthur Smith on Aaron Brewer. I know that he loves him. He's got a pretty decent contract there in terms of what the projection is from Pro Football Focus. 3 years, $6 2/3 million per season. I think that's a really good deal. And I think he's a perfect fit for what Arthur Smith wants to do at that position. So coming up next, I got my Steelers mock draft in this situation with bringing in Russell Wilson, with bringing in the free agents that I'm bringing in. What does the Steelers mock draft look like in this scenario? I'm going to let you know here in just a second. But first, make sure you guys click that subscribe button because we're going to have Steelers breaking news coverage, guys, all throughout the offseason. When they hire or when they sign new players in free agency, if they get a new quarterback, if they make a trade for Justin Fields, if that breaking news happens, we're going to have you covered with a video right here on Steelers Talk. You're not going to want to miss it. So make sure you click that subscribe button right now. So now, round 1, pick number 20. Quinion Mitchell, cornerback out of Toledo, can play off coverage, can play man coverage, can play in press. He's got long arms, great recovery speed. He was the best corner at the Senior Bowl in Mobile, Alabama. It wasn't close, in my opinion. This guy reminds me a lot of Devon Witherspoon when he was coming out of Illinois last year, and he went top 10 in the NFL draft last year. If he falls to number 20, I think he's the perfect running mate to put alongside Joey Porter Jr. for the next decade. Round number 2, Edgerrin Cooper, inside linebacker from Texas A&M. And the reason why I'm going for him right now is that we didn't get an inside linebacker in free agency, and Edgerrin Cooper is the best pass coverage linebacker in the draft. He can take away tight ends. He's got great instincts both in zone and in man. That's something the Steelers defense desperately needs. And even though I think this might be a little bit rich for Edgerrin Cooper in terms of positional value, I think he fills a very important role on this defense, so that's why I'm taking him here. Also, round number 3, with bringing in an older quarterback like Russell Wilson, we need kind of something for the future here. So if Spencer Rattler's there at number 84, I like the arm talent. I think he's matured a lot since his high school days, which have really ingrained themselves on the brains of people because of the decision-making at Oklahoma. But, man, I really do think this guy has developed. I think that, he's maybe not the best quarterback prospect in the world. His decision-making can still get a lot better. I think if you sit him behind a guy like Russell Wilson, this guy really is the limit for Spencer Rattler, who has all the throwing, who has all the arm talent in the world, super clean throwing mechanics. This guy can be a starter in the league. You give him a couple years to develop behind Russell Wilson. I think he could be the starting quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers once Russell Wilson is done. Then we get to round 4 here, and I'm going to take a really good wide receiver out of the University of Virginia, Malik Washington. He's going to be he's probably going to start his career as a slot guy, super tiny, but man, great run blocker. He plays with great leverage. He's really built up, man, really, really strong, and he's got incredible quicks. One of the best one of the highest graded wide receivers in the country last year, according to Pro Football Focus. He was third in the nation. He was one of the top in terms of yards after the catch. This guy's a great fit. I would love to have him on this team moving forward. Then number 20, 120 in the 4th round. I'm going to take somebody to kind of groom, to kind of take over for Cam Hayward once he retires, and Christian Boyd, the defensive tackle out of Northern Iowa. I saw this guy practicing at the Shrine Bowl practices a couple weeks ago. This guy was dominating everybody. This guy's got moves for days. He can be a great pass rusher. I think he could be a great 3 technique next to Keanu Benton's nose tackle in the future once Cam Hayward decides to call it quits. You give him a year to learn from Cam, and then you implement him as a starter moving forward. I really believe in Christian Boyd out of UNI. Then we got round 6 here. I'm going to take Tommy Eichenberg, inside linebacker from Ohio State. He's got the pedigree you're looking for. On tape, he wasn't nearly as good this past season as he was in 2022, hence the drop in his draft value. But he's definitely somebody that could potentially be trusted on the field as a potential backup in this league. You get Edgerrin Cooper earlier in this draft to be kind of a rotational piece. Eichenberg's more of a true backup, but I do think there's some value there here in round 6. Then in round 7, one of my biggest sleepers in this year's NFL draft, I am so high on Garrett Greenfield, the offensive tackle from South Dakota State. I mean, this guy has got the long arms. He's got the quick feet that you look for. He's got the frame. He's got the anchor. This guy was so dominant on his college film. I cannot believe that he is not being ranked by Pro Football Focus on their big board right now. This guy is a sleeping giant, ready to be grabbed in the 7th round for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I think he'd be a great swing tackle to start his career here at the Black and Gold. So let's look at the projected starting lineup here for the Pittsburgh Steelers based on my plan to get us to the Super Bowl. We got Russell Wilson, the clutch, veteran, savvy quarterback with the great deep ball as our QB. Then we got Najee Harris and Jalen Warren, a great dynamic duo there at running back to really be the engine of this offense. And you get Connor Hayward at that fullback position. I think he's going to thrive there in Arthur Smith's offense. George Pickens, Deontay Johnson, Tyler Boyd, and then the rookie Malik Washington as your 4th receiver. I love that wide receiver room for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And then, of course, we got Pat Freiermuth and Darnell Washington as a really good tight end duo for all the 2 tight end sets Arthur Smith likes to run. Then on the offensive line, you put Trent Brown, a top 10 offensive tackle in football, according to Pro Football Focus, on your left side. You keep Broderick Jones as a really good run blocker on the right. You got Sayamalu and Daniels as your guard combo, and then Aaron Brewer, a really good center that fits this offense to a T in the middle. Then you shift to defense. Of course, you got TJ Watt coming off of being snubbed Defensive Player of the Year. Watch out, NFL, because TJ Watt's coming in 2024. Alex Highsmith had another really good season last year. You still got Ogunjobi, Hayward, and Keanu Benton as your starting interior guys. And then at the linebacker room, you got Landon Roberts, who is a really good player for the Steelers last year. Cole Holcomb's coming back from his injury, and Edgerrin Cooper is your tight end eraser on 3rd downs. Then in the secondary, you still have Joey Porter Jr. as the number 1 lockdown guy, Quinion Mitchell as another potential lockdown guy on the other side of him. I mean, good luck going up against that cornerback duo for the next decade, National Football League. Then you get Kenny Moore in the slot, really savvy player, can play outside as well in case one of the top corners gets hurt. Really like the fit there with Kenny Moore. Then Fitzpatrick, of course, at free safety. Patrick Peterson rotates over to strong safety from corner, and then also you have Trenton Thompson and Eric Rowe to rotate in with Patrick Peterson to keep his legs fresh. So now it's red pen time. Let me know down there in the comments section. Grade my offseason plan to get this team to Super Bowl 59 in New Orleans. At least give them the best possible chance to get there next season. Give me an A, a B, a C, a D, or an F. If you don't like Russell Wilson, I'm sure you're probably spamming that F button down there in the comment section. But hey, if maybe you have an open mind, you think Russell Wilson could be a decent option, go ahead and let me know what you guys think down there in the comments. Thank you guys for all of your support. I know today was a little bit of a longer video, but make sure you guys click that subscribe button right now for all the latest Steelers news and rumors coverage all throughout the 2024 offseason.